Apple blends digital content with the real world. Is it worth it? Is Zack Snyder creating his own Star Wars? He spins a web any size to catch thieves just like flies. Look out, we're talking Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. All this on the Movie Mob Podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Movie Mob Podcast, episode 52, here in studio. It's RJ, joined as always by Matt, and behind the camera, Nick, the producer. The producer's good movie. Well, here we go. We got some great topics to talk about, as always. We always get good topics here in the movie world. Let's kick it off here, but it's kind of a entertainment technology topic here we're talking about. It's all together. Yeah. Apple. You know Apple, Nick?
I do.
Yeah, Matt, you know Apple?
I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, you like apples?
Dude, a nice gala apple. You put that in the fridge.
I'm a Honeycrisp guy.
You let that sit.
Yeah.
Dude, that's good stuff.
I do agree.
There.
A cold apple, a chilled apple, nothing better.
You know what happened to me this week? It was actually terrible. I packed it, a little snack between breakfast and lunch. Yeah. It was really wilted. And I bit into it. It was just brown, mushy.
What's worse than
dude,
one with a Macintosh is brown.
Oh, dude.
Right?
Brown apple, no good.
Well, listen, we're going to be eating virtual apples pretty soon here, Matt, because we have VisionPro. It's the next product. It's coming out in 2024. Matt, do you know what it is, though? Any idea?
Well, from what I'm seeing, this looks like a virtual reality.
VR.
Kind of, yeah, like the friggin' Matrix.
But here's the trick, Matt. It's blending the digital AR or VR experience with reality. So when you look through these glasses, you see the room.
Okay.
As you see it.
So I'll see you. I'll see Nick.
Yes, but imagine your phone screen projected somewhere in it. So it's like transparent, like this, as we see here in this, like that. So it's like your computer is in your eyes.
Have you ever driven a car that has like heads-up display?
Yeah.
On the windshield?
This is like Tony Stark and like.
No, yeah, literally.
Stark.
Yeah, this is the Tony Stark.
The problem is you got to look like that. You know?
Right. I mean, listen, it's crazy that we're at this point now because I feel like this is just like a science fiction concept that we've all like seen in movies and stuff, but it's here and it's coming sooner than I thought. Early 2024, I think.
To get a commercial. I mean, look at this.
But Matt, it's a reasonable price too, $3,500. How's that sound?
I'm not gonna lie. If it was $30, I don't think I'd buy. Death to the robots.
Yeah.
I want them all gone. I don't like it, RJ. I don't like it one bit. This I'm gonna be the old guy sitting on his porch. Going, back in my day, we didn't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't like it, RJ. I really don't. $3,500 to what? Look, I can do it right here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't have to pay $3,500. I already pay enough for this friggin' phone. When the guy told me at Apple it was $700, I almost said, you know what? I'm just all set. I'm just not going to have one.
Yeah.
But then I'd be outcast. God forbid I don't have a phone. I'd be outcast, ostracized by the entire society for not having a cellular device. Humans were made to go outside.
Yep.
I don't like
Send letters.
As we sit here in our studio.
Yeah. With all the technology. No, but
too.
I mean, it's a good point, though, because, like, the robots may take over if we're all looking through goggles the whole time. I mean, listen, I think VR is cool to an extent. It's definitely not there yet in terms of, like, VR gaming and all that stuff. But I wouldn't say this is very similar to that. It's more of just kind of like we were talking about an entertainment experience. But it is kind of wild that, again, it's projecting into the real world. I didn't see this coming. I didn't hear about this like coming up beforehand. So this was a curveball for me. I won't be paying the money for it. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, my only issue with it is, well, I'm not paying $3,500 for a pair of glasses. You know what I mean? It's a little different for me from the AI robotic takeover of the world. I agree with Matt. I think that would be a scary thing, but
thank you.
I think this is a little bit different. This is just for this is like a very, very preliminary step in that direction. My biggest issue is that it's you look ridiculous.
Right.
You look stupid.
You look like an idiot wearing these giant
goggles. When this gets to like contact
head.
lenses, then we'll talk.
Contact lenses would be sick.
Yes.
Or remember when
Batman has.
Google came out with Google Glass, which it looks like just like a pair of glasses, and it had a camera on it. People could live stream and do stuff with glasses. This is a whole it's a helmet. I mean, it's a whole headset. It looks like ski goggles.
Bulky.
I mean, it's huge.
I mean, you got to start somewhere. My
point is that this is $3,500 to wear a helmet for this, and in 5 years, it's going to be contact lenses for $500.
Right.
So
wait it out.
But to me, like, my biggest thing with VR is like there can't be anything good about you sitting and staring at a screen with your eyes so close. You know what I'm saying? We've talked about, everyone talks about how like staring at TVs and shit is not good for your eyes and stuff like this. I just think this is such a like too much. We don't need it. This is going to be the downfall of humanity. You know what I'm saying? Why?
I get where you're coming from, but like they've said this at every new thing. They said people weren't going to watch television. You know what I mean? They said people weren't going to, you know what I mean? Like every time there's technology, they either say it's going to be the downfall of humanity or it's going to happen either way, RJ.
Well, I guess the real reason we're talking about it, particularly on this show, though, is because you're going to be able to watch movies and TV on it. And I mean, people have studios and Netflix, I think in particular, has said that they want to create a VR-centered films, so like they're meant to be watched in VR.
Yes, you can look to the left and look to the right and be immersed inside of it.
I'm all set, man.
Yeah, dude, you know me. I'm super, listen, okay? I like films that look like films. I like the gritty, that there's a person there. That there's a person behind a camera. The guy's acting. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's something about, like, being locked into something in terms of like you can't like when you're watching a movie right now you can't look around and go into another scene like you have to experience it the way that it's meant to be experienced, whereas with this we're going to be able to walk, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's so different.
Yeah, I don't need it.
Yeah, I don't think it works, but we'll see. Like you said, they didn't think TVs would work.
Yeah, I don't know. Matt, what do you think about looking around inside a movie?
I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, I got no problem, like, with how it is right now.
You want to say it into the mic, maybe?
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, I don't know, man. Why do we need it? I'm sure, like you said, it's probably the next thing, and, like, years later, they'll develop it so it's sleeker looking and, you know, everything. But I personally, I don't care.
I mean, realistically, they could probably make the contact lenses now, but I feel like you got to start with a
even just a pair of glasses. I don't like the idea. Honestly, if I'm thinking about it, if I'm being like a real pain in the ass, like I don't want to stick stuff inside my eye. You know what I mean? But if we were all hanging out and I was like, hey, did you see that movie? And we got 3-4 pairs of glasses, Apple Vision Pro 10s, and they're just like a little pair of sunglasses or something. I go, here, throw these on. We're gonna watch this movie.
Right.
And when we watch the movie, the movie's gonna look like it's 5 stories high. Because that's the thing about being able to condense everything. When you can project it out into the world, you can make something appear that it's like enormous.
Right.
So that's kind of cool.
No, I mean, listen, it's a cool concept, 100%.
IMAX-sized movie that's not in IMAX.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
won't be buying it at this stage. We'll see what happens.
Definitely not at this price.
No,
you're out of your mind.
I'll watch some videos on YouTube. See how people
Yeah.
I'm fine with a screen, but Zack Snyder. We know Zack Snyder. He obviously most recently did a zombie film for Netflix, but I didn't really see that. Obviously, Justice League, the Batman versus Superman, Man of Steel. That's kind of been his niche the past few years. Obviously, all that controversy with Justice League and stuff. His time with DC is over. He's bouncing on to a new project here for Netflix. It's called Rebel Moon, and it's a sci-fi big epic. And I got the log line here. I'll read it. It says, a young woman seeks out warriors from other planets to fight tyrannical armies terrorizing her peaceful colony. We get some first look images here from Vanity Fair. Now, what's interesting about this is it actually started as a Star Wars movie that he pitched to Lucasfilm before they bought Disney bought Star Wars. So it was right after the prequel trilogy. He pitched this. Obviously, it didn't go through, and he remade it as this film. So it's been in development for a while in his head. So it's going to be a 2-part saga. He's already said that. The first part comes out in December on Netflix. Matt, any interest here?
So we don't have a trailer or anything?
No, just some images here. I'm sure we're going to get a trailer probably next week.
All right. Well, listen, Zack Snyder, a lot of people love him. A lot of people hate him. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of, I think, good ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know if those always come to fruition how he, thinks they will.
Yes.
For me, man, I mean, I guess it's an interesting concept, a big kind of like space sci-fi epic. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like with these, they either come across like really cheap and stupid or like they really hit. And I feel like with Zack Snyder, no disrespect, but I'd probably lean to the cheap. I don't know. It's not a bad idea. I'm not going to lie. I need to get a feel for it because like off the bat, I just don't really like, have any interest.
Yeah.
Not something like I'm seeking out. But like if a trailer comes out and it looks good, like I'm not opposed to seeing it. But
right, you don't want it to be some wannabe Star Wars.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because
I mean, it kind of looks like Tatooine just in that upper left hand picture anyway. But.
I will say he's got a great visual style. All his movies look amazing. Like he draws out, he storyboards all his stuff. Like there's no denying him as like a creative visionary. But like you said, Matt, he's got a lot of ideas, and I think sometimes he doesn't know how to manage them or to cut out some ideas, because you saw like Batman v Superman, the theatrical cut, like there's so much shit going on. A lot of different plot lines. When you watch the extended edition, it makes more sense, but still like you're doing a lot there.
And I didn't even hate that movie. Like I remember me, you, and Christian walked down, and I said it was all right. But like everyone shits on that movie and hates it.
Right.
You know?
So I mean, convoluted is not something you want to be, especially with the movies like this, because Star Wars, even though it is a huge property, like it's a very simple movie. That first movie, you know, it gets new characters and worlds people have not seen before, but the story's pretty down to earth.
Yeah.
What do you think here, Nick?
It could be interesting.
He's shooting and directing it. He's a cinematographer as well, which is pretty cool.
That's interesting. And he wrote it too?
There are two other writers too. Yeah, he did all three.
That's weird.
Yeah.
No, cool. I mean, Zack Snyder. Did you like Zack Snyder's Justice League?
I did like his Justice League.
I thought it was solid.
Yeah.
You know,
I bet it's long. It's like 4 hours.
I find it interesting that, you know, with all these Star Wars films that they announce and then cancel, could be an interesting thing for him to like go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it seems like.
Hopefully, you're right. I mean, like, hopefully it's not a knockoff of Star Wars, right? But at the same time, maybe we need something new. You know how I feel about Star Wars. I feel like Star Wars is done anyway. Like, we have Star Wars. You want to watch Star Wars? Go watch a Star Wars movie.
But that's a great point, though. It's like I'm gonna support, like, you know, we talked about that other Star Wars, the creator,
that
John David
cool.
Washington. But like that's what I'm saying. It's new original ideas. So like I'm fine. Like if it fails, it fails. But I'm glad that we're getting something that's like original.
Yeah, I do. I find it interesting that he had to take it upon himself to make it.
And obviously, probably when he pitched it to Lucasfilm, he didn't have the position he's in now, where he can go and make it on his own.
Exactly.
So now he
100%.
does, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, it seems like a passion project for him. So I hope it's good. Obviously, I wish it was going to theaters. I'm not a huge fan of the straight to Netflix release stuff, but that's what he did with his last movie. But we'll see. I don't know.
Whoever's got the bag, you know what I mean? Whoever's got the money.
True.
That's
very
what
true.
it comes down to.
But I'm sure we're gonna get a trailer next week or two. But we'll talk about it when that comes out. Here's what we're gonna talk about here, and this kind of blends into our review we got coming later, though. Before we dive into our review of Across the Spider-Verse, let's talk about the box office here, because Across the Spider-Verse earns $120.5 million in its opening weekend. It's pretty significant because the first one only made $35.4 million. So that's a huge jump. Obviously, that first one kind of came out of nowhere. I don't think a lot of people expected it to be that good. It won Best Picture for animated film. I mean, it definitely took the culture by storm. And, you know, we went this past weekend, and like the theater, I've never seen the theater that packed in like a long time. Everyone out for it. Obviously, The Little Mermaid's out too, which we'll talk about. But Matt, are you surprised that it made this much money?
No, not at all, dude. Like you said, we went with Sam this past weekend, dude. Literally, I've never seen, honestly, the last time I probably saw a theater like that was maybe Endgame, Infinity War, like Black Panther.
Or like Star Wars, like
the Force Awakens. Dude, that theater was fucking popping. We couldn't find a parking spot. It was crazy. Everyone had their Spider-Man shirts, dressed up like Spider-Man. Not only like families, like adults, like literally
wide
everyone.
range. Yeah,
that's the thing, dude. I'm not surprised because this movie appeals to all, you know, because like kids, you see animated movie,
right?
But like also, it's like has mature themes, and like everyone loves superheroes. Superheroes are so like in right now, so it appeals to a wide audience, and it's such a like pop culture phenomenon. Like all of it, the visuals, just Spider-Man, like it being like a black Spider-Man, the soundtrack, just like all of it. So I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, and like that first film had such good word of mouth, and then obviously when it won the Oscar, like it got a lot of buzz. So I'm not surprised at all here. It crushed the projections. Now, what's interesting though is The Little Mermaid opened Memorial Day weekend, and that made $117.5 million. The reason I bring this up is because these are big openings. Now, listen, they're all big IPs again, but still, like since COVID, it seems like the theaters are finally back. You know, because for a while there, like Top Gun was an anomaly. That made a shit ton of money. Tenet bombed when Christopher Nolan demanded that it come out during COVID. But like, it seems like we're in a spot now where the theaters and the movies are coming out. People are going, which I think is positive. Although I still think the prices are going to deter people. And I've heard that in LA, you go to a movie, it's like $27.
Dude, it was $21 and I didn't even get anything.
Right.
Like it's crazy.
So like you bring your whole family there.
I mean, dude, let's say like, you know, we go. Like, so it's $21 for a ticket, right? I get a popcorn and a soda. That's like that's $40.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? $40, you bring, you know, wifing. I mean, that's $120.
Yeah.
Wife and 2 kids.
So that, I mean, that's why when you talk about like how independent, smaller films don't get as much money in the theaters, it's because like I feel like people are like picking their movies.
They probably pick like 2-3 movies a year. You know, so over $100. All right, we'll see these 2-3 movies, and we can bring the whole, and this one you bring the whole family.
Right, and exactly, you know? And that's why they tend to go see the superhero ones, because you can bring kids to it. It's kind of universal.
Little Mermaid, probably same thing, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think it's a good sign, though, that people are still going to the movies. And again, like, even though this is another superhero movie, like, I think we both agree it's extremely innovative. It's really original.
I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, let's go. Well, Nick, before we get into our review here, what do you think about this?
I mean, yeah, I think the theaters are back, definitely. Into the Spider-Verse did 384.3 worldwide box office by the end of its run. Where do you think this ends up?
700, 800?
You don't think it's a $1 billion movie?
I don't think so. I think it would have had to open a little bigger.
You think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
close. I want to see
the only
again.
reason I asked is because Into the Spider-Verse, right, had an opening weekend of only 35 million.
Right.
It ended at close. Call it 400 million.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
this one opens at
Mario
120.
Just passed $1 billion the other week. And that it's so rare for animated movies to pass $1 billion. That's the thing.
Yeah, because they're usually.
I think Mario is 2 or 3 now all time. So if this crossed $1 billion, it'd be right in there. I mean, again, word of mouth. Like this is getting incredible reviews, so I'm sure it's gonna have a good weekend this weekend coming up. I mean, maybe. If I had to guess, I'm going 800 million range, right under. Because I do think the animated thing definitely affects it sometimes.
Yeah,
you know.
Have you've seen it one time?
Yeah,
I think the only thing that deters me these days from the theater is the cost of the tickets and everything. Yeah. Like we're going to like
blame you.
One movie we're doing now. Granted, Oppenheimer's IMAX, which is why it's as much as it is. But even still, I mean, it's ridiculous.
But that wasn't even bad. Like
still cheaper than this.
That was $16, and then like when we go to this, it's 21 because like AMC has this thing where they like upcharge now based on how big of a movie it is.
Yeah.
Did you guys do the pick your seats thing or no?
Yeah, like you have to now. They're all like preset seats.
I'll tell you, back in the day though, when we went Force Awakens,
you had to go.
We got
wait in
there
line.
Like 2.5 hours early. We ran in there, got prime spots.
Yeah,
felt good about it. But no, I don't miss doing that.
Yeah,
Rogue One, we did that too.
But I don't know. I'm glad though. I'm just happy people are in the theaters. It feels good when you go to a movie and the energy's there.
Dude, it's fucking like you can't explain it. You know what was the last time I had this energy in the theaters? Spider-Man movie 2 when we saw No Way Home or Far From whatever. From Home.
No Way Home was the last
one. With all the
one.
Spider-Man in it.
Yep.
Dude, that night, you get a like good crowd when it's opening weekend. Everyone buys the tickets in advance and like they clap. You know what I mean?
Well, that was another one. That was right after COVID made a lot of money.
Clapping. Christian was not happy about the clapping.
Yeah.
I just remember looking over and you and him mowing down La Vic burritos.
Yes.
And just in a packed
Daredevil
theater.
pops on.
Yeah, everyone must have hated you guys, but no, it was awesome, dude. This is energy. Like it's an event.
Yeah,
like something like that. You know what I mean? And like I remember those specific movies and like that atmosphere and that crowd, man.
And then when the movie hits, it's even better.
Oh, dude,
you know what I'm saying?
That's why like I was like this movie like I was so sure it was gonna hit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's why like I don't mind. The money sucks, but like I'm like it's worth it for Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I feel like all movies should be that way though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
100%.
if you think back, I don't know, 10 years ago, there was never really a time. Like I went to see that movie with Jason. What's his name there? The guy that was in Air that played
Jason Bateman.
Horrible Bosses?
No, it was Identity Thief with Melissa McCarthy and Jason Bateman, right? Yeah. When I went to that one, I almost fell out of my seat laughing, and the theater was packed, and like
it's a good sign.
It was just a regular like it was just like, hey, what do you want to do?
That's the thing.
But what I'm saying is like that's the whole movie-going experience should be like that. The waiting in line or everybody having the Spider-Man shirt on is super sick, and that's obviously like a very like culture-specific like superhero movie thing. But I mean, in general, if you're going to the movie theater, I feel like movie theaters should always be packed. It should be a fun movie-going experience, which we haven't had for a while because of the pandemic and everything else. So
right,
let's get it.
I don't know.
I mean, even Mario. Everyone was wearing Mario Luigi hats. Matt had a whole suit on.
Oh yeah.
But since we're on the topic, obviously, let's get into this review of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So obviously a sequel to 2018's Into the Spider-Verse. Now, I don't know, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they didn't direct this when they produced it. I forget if they directed the first one, but regardless, they're producers. They spearhead this thing. It's pretty incredible. The first one, like we said, was kind of this unexpected hit, won an Oscar, rave reviews, and it's leading a character who is pretty new in the comics, Miles Morales. Not a lot of people knew about him going into this movie, and I think that's even more impressive as to how big it is. Matt, what'd you think of this movie?
RJ?
Yeah.
In one word, brilliant.
There it is.
This movie was fucking brilliant.
Yep.
No, it was incredible, dude. I was a hater. You know, I didn't see the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse until about 2 months ago.
Yep.
And I was like, we're reviewing the movie. We're probably going to go see it. Let me check it out. I think it was a rainy March day. Let me see what this is about. It's under 2 hours, Yep. And I was blown away. I couldn't stop thinking about it. The soundtrack, all of it. Like, I fell in love with it. And I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I was so excited for this movie, dude. And it blew me away. I thought it was incredible. I still like the first one a little better. I just like origin stories. And how it all comes together. But dude, this one was on par with it. It was incredible. I'll just say, man, visually, I've never seen anything like these first two movies. You talk about a comic book brought to life. The animator, however they did this, whoever's responsible for that deserves all the money they get. They deserve. It's incredible, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it took them 4 years to make this.
And you know what, dude? It shows. Yeah, because it's so high quality. Not only everything. There's nothing. It's almost the visuals, the plot, the themes hit deep, dude. Yeah. Family values, man. You get emotional in the theater. The acting, the voice acting is incredible. Yep. And dude, the fucking Metro Boomin soundtrack is perfect.
Yes.
It's culturally, pop culture. I'm talking kids at school, other teachers. They're talking about. It's incredible. I don't have enough good things to say about it. It was awesome.
I mean, yeah, that's a great point. I think that what's amazing about it is, like we said, that first movie was such a cultural shift and it was so unique that I feel like to try to make a sequel and replicate that is really difficult to do. We see a lot of sequels just not feel like the originals. And like you said, like this hit all the notes. It's a great continuation of the story. Obviously, it expands it quite a bit. We see the Spider-Verse. We see hundreds of Spider-Men, and it was really cool. The way they did all those cameos and stuff, I think was a
nod to the fans.
It's a great nod to the fans, but it didn't feel forced or overwhelming.
No, it was good because because Spider-Man, I think there are only two superheroes that can do this. It's Spider-Man. We were talking about right after Spider-Man and Batman, dude. Yep. That draws people in that may not be, casual superhero fans. Yeah. A lot of people, I think, are seeing this movie and Batman movies that aren't going to see Ant-Man 5.
Right.
You know what I mean? And all the other stupid superhero movies. And so, like you said, those little niche things, those diehard fans will appreciate it.
Yep.
But if Joe and Sally, go to the movies and they just kind of it's just a funny thing that they don't know any better. But and it doesn't take away from the plot, like you said.
Now, a lot of people... One critique I have heard of this movie from some people, I don't agree.
Well, censor
is they feel like it feels too much like a part one. Now, I disagree with that. Okay. Now, obviously, this movie ends and it says to be continued, whatever. But to me, I did feel like a plot resolution in terms of especially Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
Because it starts on her. And you see that thing with her experiencing Peter's death in her universe and then her having this falling out with her dad.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the movie, they come back together. So to me, that's a through line that finished through that movie.
It's a great point.
But I have seen a lot of comparisons to The Empire Strikes Back, and I do like them because it feels like the end of that movie, right?
Well, RJ, if the movie ended and everyone was holly jolly singing fucking Kumbaya around the fire,
yeah.
I mean, why would we tune in to movie 3?
Yes.
You know, you need, like Infinity War, when you have those like part 2s, like Infinity War and Empire Strikes, the bad guys have to win at the end, or it has to be looking bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so Miles Morales is trapped with the bad Miles Morales.
Yeah, spoils here.
And so, dude, it's very similar because like Luke, and they're kind of screwed. Han's trapped. Yeah. Miles is trapped. But then the other ones, they're forming a team. Luke and Leia forming a squad like Gwen Stacy.
Yes.
And I'll just say, I think the best scene in the entire movie, dude, is that last scene when Gwen Stacy's giving her little monologue.
Yep.
And whatever she says, and then she goes, "That's why I form my own team."
Yes.
And it cuts, and she has like the original squad with Penny Parker, the Spider Pig,
Spider-Man Noir.
Oh, he's great. Nick Cage, and like all the like new ones that are on their squad, and then they like go. They're gonna probably go get Miles and.
Yeah.
Dude, goosebumps. Like, I've been thinking, and then it cuts to credits and that ASAP Rocky song plays. Brilliant. It's incredible, dude. It's so good. It just gives me the goosebumps.
The music's incredible. The voice acting's incredible. I think Haley Steinfeld was a standout as Gwen Stacy.
It was honestly, dude, because in the first one, she might have been, I don't know. She was like a legitimate co-lead in this movie.
Oh, 100%.
The first one was definitely Miles Morales' movie. This might have been close to 50-50 between.
Well, that's the great thing about it, because if you look at Empire Strikes Back, yes, Luke is the main character, but like we spend most of that movie with them separated.
Yeah.
You get a little Han and Leia. You know what I'm saying?
They're with each other, the whole squad, at the very beginning and then at the very end.
They split, and then they have to come back together. So I think that's a great compliment to be compared to Empire, you know, when it's one of the greatest sequels ever.
Definitely, dude. And I'll just say Gwen Stacy, I think voice acting, like you said, was incredible. Her arc with her dad, dude, like, dude, it hit me in the feels, dude. Like, it, because he's trying to, like, do the right thing.
Yep.
And, like, but it's hard because she doesn't know if, like, he'll still love her the same. Like, dude, shit like that, like, because I feel like that's stuff, like, everyone can relate to, you know what I mean? Like, a kid can go and watch Spider-Man, but a parent can go and watch that.
Yeah, and feel it from that angle.
You know what I mean? And, like, I don't know if you notice this, too, like, her moods, like, the visuals,
yes,
the colors shift.
The paint melting in the back.
Dude, it's so cool. And there's, a song they play, I think it's called Self-Love on the album by Coy Leroy, whatever her name is. Like, I've been playing that on repeat. Like, that hits, too.
Yeah, no, you're right. The way that they use the visuals and the way that they sometimes make it look exactly like a comic book, splitting the screen in half.
No, those are my favorite when they do that.
It's so cool. Like, I can't, like, express enough how, like, you said it to me. I've never seen anything like that.
And I think the only character you could only do it with is Spider-Man. You know, like these quips and these jokes, and it's like it's kind of funny and he's goofy and like everything. Like, that doesn't work, I feel like, for any other superhero, but that's the character of Spider-Man.
Yep. And
so you can do that, bring in a billion Spider-Man and like still
you could have a dinosaur Spider-Man and like all that shit.
Like all that's like, dude, and I will say I think the coolest like sequence in the movie is when he's being chased in by 2099 and all the other Spider-Men and trying to get out. I think that's just the coolest sequence in the entire movie.
Now, what'd you think of Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, Oscar Isaac?
I think he's a bit of a dick.
He is.
And can I say, I haven't looked at any theories, any Reddit. Okay. This is just Matt Sampson.
Sure.
I was thinking about this throughout the movie. I don't think he's a real Spider-Man. Because two things. Like, so there's something up with him.
Well, he's a vampire.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I think he's a fraud. Because, two things that Peter B. Parker goes, you're not funny. All Spider-Men are funny.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like that. And I don't know, like, he's the fangs, like he sucks. He's like evil. Dude, he's evil.
Oh, he's
evil. He's not a good guy. He's evil. They're all gonna turn on him at the end.
Do you think he'll be the main villain going into this next one?
Yes.
Now, what you weren't a big fan of the Spot.
Yeah, that was my only thing.
He sucked. Yeah, it was kind of set up, and I think he'll obviously continue into this next movie. He was a little goofy.
My first thought when I saw him was, this would be like the quick, like movies open with like a stupid villain. And then the hero takes out in like one scene, and then he moves on to the main villain.
Yeah.
I thought, all right, we'll do the stupid thing, and then we'll get rid of him, and we'll move on to the big. I guess not.
Well, they even joke you're not even a villain of the week.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought. I'm like, all right, good. We'll get this guy. He's robbing the grocery store. We'll figure this. It's a little goofy, and then we'll move on.
Yeah. No, it's definitely interesting.
A little too goofy for me. I prefer Kingpin.
Yeah, Kingpin was great.
Down the business.
And Doc Ock.
Oh,
the
she was great.
Doc Ock was phenomenal.
I like the villains better in the first one.
That's fair. What do you think of? Spoilers, obviously, when we get into the Spider-Man community,
yes,
they show all the similarities between the Spider-Men, how they all like kind of lose someone in their life. I think it was great. And then we see snippets of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. We see Andrew Garfield. mixing live action and animation. You don't see that a lot anymore. It's kind of like the Looney Tunes back in action.
Took it to
like
Legoland.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Yeah. What'd you think of that? Was that jarring to you?
I mean, I was definitely like, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, like they're doing it.
Yeah.
They're going for it. It's not too jarring to me, man. You know, I wouldn't have cared if they didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, this movie, they just kind of went for everything.
I mean, we got Donald Glover as the
They literally,
prowler.
like, anything you could think of, they just fucking went for it. And they were probably feeling themselves a little bit. You know, I don't think they would have tried that in movie 1. But they're like, oh, everyone loves this. Like, you know we have, like, a winner here.
Yeah.
Let's do it. You know, and people eat it up. So I didn't mind it.
Now, what do you think about the next one? It's supposedly coming out in March.
Yeah, let's push it to May.
I wonder. It probably will get pushed.
I want to be in shorts when I'm seeing it.
Yeah. That's very fair.
Thank you.
It's a summer movie.
I agree.
Obviously, you got high hopes for it.
Yep.
Do you think we're going to see Tom Holland? Because it's called Beyond the Spider-Verse. We saw it. They've confirmed that these live-action universes exist. We popped into the Venom universe. I know you haven't seen those movies, but
I think if they do the live-action thing again,
yeah,
we'll see Tom Holland.
You think? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because they got to save, they can't, get to save a little something.
Right.
So I do think if they do the live action again, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Tom Holland.
I mean, Tom Holland he's referenced by 2099 in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, they did
too.
the thing with Childish
Doctor
Gambino,
Strange.
so they referenced his movie.
Right.
So, no, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw him.
It wasn't jarring to me, the live action thing. If you had told me beforehand that was going to happen, I'd be like,
Yeah, it's a little weird.
But even when Miles and Donald Glover are like talking to each other, I'm kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is, you know, and it works. And they didn't force it in.
No, I don't think
wasn't. They didn't have Andrew Garfield pop in for a little cameo.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like a snippet. It served its purpose in the story.
It was cute.
But let's rate this thing, Matt.
Okay.
What are you giving it?
We doing like out of 10?
Sure, let's do out of 10. Change it up.
See, I'm a hard critic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
You can't be throwing out 10s.
I'm gonna go 9-1.
Okay.
I really liked it. 9-1.
I'm going 9-3.
Okay.
I'm right there with you.
All right.
Yeah, right in the A's.
Yeah. No, it was excellent.
Phenomenal. Can't wait for the third one.
Dude, I'm going again. I want to see this movie again.
I want to see it again,
I haven't
too.
I know I like when I like think about it for so long after I watch all the videos, YouTube. I haven't stopped thinking about this movie, bumping the soundtrack with A$AP Rocky.
Yeah.
Dude,
I just saw Guardians 3 again.
Oh,
I liked it a lot better the second time.
Dude,
that was
liked it.
great.
I really enjoyed it when we went.
It's been a great year for movies, and we got Mission Impossible coming out soon.
That's
Indiana Jones. Jury's still out on that. The Flash. We'll see what happens, but this was phenomenal. Before we leave today, we get a fan question.
Oh, do we?
From Eden. We do.
Oh, nice.
This is a good one. Which HBO show do you guys think is the most underrated? She says, for me, it's The Newsroom. It's got a great cast and ranks higher than Succession for me. That's high praise there.
I haven't seen Newsroom.
The Newsroom, I remember the ads for it way back. It was 3 seasons. It starred
it was in that one.
Jeff Daniels from Dumber and Dumber, but it is a drama, I think. Olivia Munn.
Hey,
I'll take a look at it. That sounds interesting.
I like her.
You got a pick here?
Yeah.
And maybe even if it's not HBO, another place.
Well, no, I'll stick HBO. Obviously I think the best is my favorite is Game of Thrones.
Yep.
But for like underrated, dude, no one talks about Watchmen, dude.
Yeah, Watchmen was great.
It was 1 season, just limited series. Excellent.
Yeah.
It was so good, man. So I'd go Watchmen because I don't think you can call like Curb or Thrones or Entourage, Sopranos. I don't think you can
they were big at their.
I don't think you can call any of those underrated. Because they have so many great shows about how many of them are underrated. So I would go Watchmen because I feel like no one remembers or talks about it, and it was awesome.
That's a good pick there.
That's my
because
pick.
it was a limited series. It had its run, and it just it was great.
Yeah.
You got one, Nick? I'm still thinking here. Let me hear it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. I watched all of it. The series, The Leftovers.
Oh, is that good?
Yeah, it's yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like it's one of those series that like kind of backs itself into a corner that you don't know. You're like, how are they going to get out of this? It's a little
like
weird.
George R. R. Martin.
And then they do. And it's kind of interesting. I mean, you have to kind of give it a little bit of – listen, part of the reason that for an HBO series to be underrated, it's because it's not the best series out there. You know what I mean? Watchmen is a fantastic series, but there's only 1 season.
Yeah.
And it's like, where do they go and whatever. And I watched it. What's that? Was that woman in the Asian – lady, she was in Everything Everywhere All at Once, no?
Michelle Yeoh.
Or was she in The Whale? She was in something.
That's Hong Chow.
Who? The one that was in Watchmen that played the evil genius lady.
Oh, I don't even remember.
Oh my gosh. No, I know exactly who you're talking about. I don't know her name.
She was in something recently.
Yeah, no,
Watchmen.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Oh, she's in The Menu.
The Menu.
That's
she played
Chow.
the. Okay.
That's Hong Chow.
Yeah.
I can't believe I know that.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I know you hate The Menu.
I know.
But she was really good in The Menu too. She played.
She
was a good character there. But so yeah, I mean it's a cool story. But then at the end of it, you're like, where does it go? So that's why it kind of falls by the wayside. Sopranos, as an example, was 7 seasons long. I mean, it was a cultural phenomenon. This one, what's it called? The Leftovers. Do you know the idea behind it, like the log line?
It's people missing, right?
So it's like 2% of the world's population vanishes, like the Rapture.
Thanos.
And so everybody else, the 98% of the population is kind of dealing with where did they go and where are they
98 left or 2% left?
No, 98 left. 2% vanishes. Left. So it's like, as an example, this isn't ruining anything. Yeah. It's like the very opening scene of the first episode in the first season. This mom is coming out of the grocery store and she's arguing with her husband on the phone about something or other, whatever it is, and she's got the baby in the carriage, and then she turns around, the carriage is empty. Like there's no baby in the carriage.
Yeah.
So she thinks somebody stole her kid. But then there's like a car driving down the road that all of a sudden the driver disappeared. So now it's just hauling 45 miles an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's and there's some weird like cult that thinks it was the Rapture, and so they, there's like some other stuff involved in it, and it's kind of cool. And I like the way that the series ended, and I was looking for something to watch and like stumbled across it. That's how underrated it was. I heard nothing about it when it was coming out.
I'll have to check that out.
Oh, there you go.
Leftovers.
Yeah, Leftovers. It was kind of a cool series.
Interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Oh, Damon Lindelof. He made Watchmen.
Lost.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, I thought it was interesting. It's adapted from a book or a series of books, and it's.
I've been looking for a new series to start. So that
you got it when you're watching it. You got to give it just go with it.
Just go with it.
Yeah,
good movie.
There's a little there's a couple plot aspects of it that are like what you know what I mean.
That's fair.
But just go with it.
Okay. I was gonna say Band of Brothers, but that's not really underrated.
No, like Band of Brothers and The Pacific, those two are like so
I'm going
good.
with
Hard Knocks.
I'm watching it right now. I'm like 4 episodes in. Rome, HBO's Rome.
Is it worth watching?
Yeah.
It looks a little 300
awesome
to me. No.
No. It's like Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones. Like you see, like they spent $100 million on that series
shit.
in 2002. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's
like $1 billion series.
Yeah, that's
now.
what I'm saying.
My God.
So like what happened with it, I haven't finished it yet, but there's only 2 seasons because they wanted to make 10 seasons going through the history of Rome, but it costed too much money. Like Nick, they rebuilt the Roman Forum. They like have you can look it up. Like there's like the set is still like you can go visit it.
We were there.
They just like built the everything.
That's
and they
crazy.
But so then what happened is the second season came around, HBO was like, it costs too much money, so they squeezed everything left into 1 season. So then it stopped. But if they made that show today, it'd be crazy.
I love ancient Greece, ancient Rome, stuff like that.
And rest in peace, Ray Stevenson. He's in it. He's great. He just passed away, unfortunately. But Mance Rayder, I'm blanking on the name, his actual name, but he plays Caesar. Yeah, he's really good.
Cool.
It's cool. I tried out. I'm 4 episodes in. It's really good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But I'm going with HBO's Rome on that one. But great question. Thank you, Eden, for sending that in.
As always.
And
Eden's
guys,
the best.
if you're watching, send in a question, anything that pops to your mind. Comment below what you thought of all the topics we thought. If you saw Across the Spider-Verse, let us know what you thought about that. But that'll do it for the Movie Mob podcast today. Matt, thanks for joining us. Nick, as always. Guys, subscribe. Helps out the channel. We appreciate all the support. We love the views. We love the subscribers. So keep it coming. We're going to keep coming with episodes, guys. We'll see you next week. How you doing?